Okay, and hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of OSC, One Step Closer Productions. Let's talk about it. Okay, so we're here right now. I'm your host, Bethel, and I'm here with my girl, Sandra. I have Tammy here, and I have podcast host of Defining Your Life, Marsharell Talbert.
Hello.
It's so good for you to join us, Marsharell.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about, and I'm so glad that you were able to come out and join us on such short notice. But
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm the host of Defining Your Life. It's a podcast that's encouraging words in 15 minutes or less, catered to women 40 plus who are trying to find themselves again and be remotivated in the next season of their life.
and I was so glad to see, because I saw that you had went on hiatus for a minute. You took a small break and then you came back. You came back like a beast.
Oh, thank you.
It's like, what is going on here? And I want to say that, okay, not just because I'm your mother, but because I am so proud that when I go on there, I actually am inspired. I'm encouraged. And I'm saying to myself, is this my child? I'm here encouraging and inspiring the whole entire world.
Well, I hope so.
And you have been doing it. Because if I remember, this was a few years back, and this is before you even did the podcast. You didn't know whether you wanted to do the podcast or not. And you were teeter-tottering. And I said, Marsharell, I told you, I said, when you hit that 40 mark, there's going to be something there that you're going to feel like is missing.
Yes.
Because you've been mom, you've been wife,
Yes.
you know, and you've been doing everything for everybody. But I said 40 is the number where you feel like, you know what am I doing for me?
It certainly is a turning point.
So tell me about how you came. Tell us about how you came to that decision and that turning point, and what happened to make you say, you know what, let me go out here and do.
Yeah. So I've always been a creative. And, as you get older, life starts to life, and you have children and other responsibilities, and you got bills. Bills are due. So it kind of takes you away from your creative space. But creative people know, I'm sure y'all can speak to it as well, is that it's like a therapy for you. When you're missing that component, you really feel like you're missing a piece of yourself. There's a hole that you can't fill because you are supposed to be exercising yourself in some creative form. If that was put inside you.
Yes.
So as I'm just, getting older, I'm like, what are you doing, girl? And also recognizing the importance of community. As I got into my mid to late 30s, I really started to appreciate community even more, like getting together in a sisterhood with friends and being very intentional about that. And so I actually had started a group in my mid-30s called Defining Your Life, which is the name of the podcast. So it was more so an accountability group. Like, what are these things that we're doing to, make ourselves easier in all these roles that we play, at work, at home, and then, how can we support each other in that way by coming together and sharing ideas and so on and so forth. And so that went on for about 1.5 years, but I put that down, and a layoff actually brought me back to myself, you're not really doing anything to fulfill yourself. And also, you're not actually invested in this job. So
a layoff.
A layoff, yes.
God will stop something to get your attention,
right,
to put you somewhere where you should be. That, you know what I mean? He will get those wheels turning okay,
right. And so I'm like, how can I utilize this time and make the most of it? Because we don't like to waste time, And so I met with a friend who was also on a new career path, a friend from college. She was becoming a life coach. And she's like, you should come in and do a few sessions with me, just so I can get some practice. So I go in and we start talking, and she's like, what is it that you really want to do? And I'm like, I've done all these things. I was in design. I had a mobile catering business with a friend, a food blog. So all these creative things.
The boutique.
Right. So it was but the thing that had been sticking with me was the accountability portion and empowering other women, encouraging women to be their best selves, essentially.
Best versions of themselves.
Exactly. And so I circled back to that, and I remember with the food business, we were talking about, well, I was talking about we should do a podcast with my partner. And so it ended up, she wasn't really into it. And I'm like, that's because that wasn't for her. It was really for me.
That wasn't her.
Right.
Yes.
And so when I sat down with this life coach, we came back to that. And she's like, so it sounds like you want to do a podcast. And I was like, okay, I do want to do a podcast. And so she gave me a time schedule because, we'll make excuses.
Right.
We have this to do, we got that to
Procrastinating,
do.
yeah.
And she was like, but you have the time, essentially. So we put together a timeline, and then before I had a job again, I had a podcast up and running in 6 weeks. And then I just wanted to make sure that once I was working again, that I stuck to that commitment to myself to keep showing up week over week. And the first year I put out 52 episodes. So,
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Nice.
And when I tell you, I tell you, if you listen to it, like even going home in the car after a stressful day, just hearing your voice and all that you have to offer and all that you're giving, it's just amazing because I'm like, wow, I felt good after that. Let me chime in on this. My baby is inspiring me. Okay, but it's doing what it's supposed to do.
yes.
So, yes, I'm so happy for you and congratulations again on your second year.
Thank you.
You came back swinging and full force. I'm so happy for you. So, I just want to say congratulations and much success on what's to come because bigger and better things are coming.
That is the goal.
Okay, everyone. So today we want to speak on this episode is called the Spendthrift. Okay, so we want to talk about to save or not to save.
That is the question.
That is the question. Should we save? We have some people that believe that, okay, I'll save a little, but life is short. You only get one, and I'm not leaving anything back. I'm going to just live my life up. I'm not thinking about saving anything for, I might not wake up tomorrow. And then you have those that are adamant savers. I believe in saving 10%, out of my, I believe in this. I'm saving for a rainy day. So we'll be back in a moment to discuss and to delve in more into that, the spendthrift, to save or not to save, when we come back. Okay, and we're back. Okay, ladies, let's talk about it. Do we save for a rainy day or do we spend as it comes in because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow?
Both.
I think a little bit of both would be responsible.
Right.
Okay, because I know some people that live like that they don't feel like they need to save. They don't feel like it's a priority. And you always see them, you're dressed to the nines. You know what I mean? You're always, oh my God, what are you doing in San Rios?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you in San Rios, but you borrow money from me. You a borrower. That part.
Right.
And so how does this, but you have people that live their lives that way.
Yeah.
So what do we say to that? Because it's okay to travel and it's okay to dress how you want to dress, but not on other people's dimes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, because when you come to me and you're borrowing from me, you're telling me you don't have the money. But then I see you fresh gear on, you sneak, you got to do this and that on, and you're traveling. That means you do have the money.
Yeah, they want to spend
It's
They
what-
want to spend on
not
what they want to
theirs.
spend on.
Right.
Right.
And if I can spend your money, if you're giving it to me,
That's
then
right.
take advantage.
So what is that? Is that clever? Is that witty? Is
It is clever.
is that smart?
Smart? No.
Inconsiderate.
Super inconsiderate, right?
Right.
Selfish.
Because
Yeah,
somebody might be like, well, I mean, if he doing it like that, then
But
let
you
him
might have
do it.
someone, you like, they come with this sad story, like, I really need this, I really got it. And then you help them. But I may help you and really can't,
Right.
but I'm going to steal from my bill for this month
Right.
because you're going to pay me back. hopefully,
because I care about you.
and give it to you, and then I'm struggling.
And then you struggling because
And
they don't
you
know what your
out.
bills look like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And you have people that live their lives just in that way.
But so to your point, there are a lot of enablers out here as well.
That's
if you know
true.
that the person has been irresponsible time and time again, why do you
Why
keep
do it?
giving it to them? Like, I
Right.
want to make myself unavailable. When you come to me, that means you really have an issue. And so then I'm going to feel compelled to help you.
Right.
But if I see you out here still having a good time, that means you're not really in dire straits.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You're
true.
not.
That's
Mm-mm.
true.
Because I also have to be prepared to give you something that I can't expect back if you are in that position.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be looking for you like, and now I got a chip on my shoulder because you ain't give it back, and now I'm struggling, and I see you over here, and you've done something irresponsible with my money.
Right.
How about that?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
That's how people end up on Judge Judy.
Mhm.
You understand? Really. I
And
gave this to
Muncie.
you were in need. And then once you got yourself back on your feet, or if you were ever off your feet,
Right.
Mhm.
because you bamboozled me,
Right.
you know what I mean? So should I be upset about that as a friend?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because friendships end over this type of stuff.
It really
Yeah,
do.
they do.
It really do.
Maybe they should.
Because you're crying wolf. Now, how about when you really need that person? Now, for real, now you need them.
And I'm not there.
And everybody like, no, okay, I know that game. I've been down that road before. And now you can't trick me into that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So now what? That's like the boy that cried wolf. You said you needed it, you really didn't, because you was living off, but now you really need it, about to get evicted,
Mm.
and you done burnt these bridges,
Mhm.
you
I
know?
think people know that saving is I think most people know that saving is a good thing. I don't think they know how.
Mhm.
Some people just don't know how.
Mhm. Mhm.
In my community, we really wasn't taught money management, financial literacy. I think that's what they call it.
Yes. Mhm.
So some people
And you're
just
right about
don't know
that.
how.
And it's
Why
a
say
survivor
$50?
mode. Right.
Right.
We were operating from survivor mode, so there really wasn't anything to save,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But also, and then you want to be able to reward yourself. I still really do want to have a good time. You know
Right.
what I mean? I deserve this because I work so hard,
Yeah.
you know, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have something for now, and later may not come. But
Mhm.
then if the later doesn't come for you for whatever reason, then you still have something to pass on to someone else. That's how we get out of this hamster wheel or these cycles of not having any generational wealth. Somebody at some point has to think a little bit smarter and more
that's right.
strategic.
Yeah.
Cause what about the ones? So let's say I have 3 sons, and I don't deal with none of them, and none of them talk to me, and I'm steady saving. Now my goal is I try to save a year,
Mm-hmm.
so a year's worth for my mortgage,
Yes.
my bills, and that. Everything else, retail therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't make it for that year, and now my sons come and get this money, and they haven't talked to me in 5 years.
Mm.
And that's the other thing we don't do. I'm guilty too. We don't be having our paperwork in order.
Mm.
Say,
You
Right,
know?
right.
So like if you don't want it to go to them, maybe you want it to go to some grandkids or to some other legacy building.
Some charity.
Some
That's
charity or
why,
something.
that's why you
If there's no
realize
paperwork.
wealthy people give their money to charities,
Right.
and then you say, "Oh my God, they didn't give it to none of their kids."
or the
What?
pets,
And then
Right.
you automatically look at them like,
that they're
"What kind of
wrong.
parent?
Mhm.
Right.
You gonna give to the charity
But what kind
or
of
your
child?
dog?"
Absolutely.
I saw one wealthy person give everything they own to their dog.
Mm-hmm.
For the cat.
Right? You are like, what is going on? Something. Maybe their
Yeah.
children were irresponsible. Maybe their children only looked at them as a dollar sign.
That's true.
Or
What they
worse.
gonna get from mama and dad? I didn't visit you. You were sick and all that, but you gonna come around inheritance time.
Right.
You know,
Sell
so
my
everybody
house
has
and
a
all of
story.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody has a story, but you have to do. I believe what's in your best interest and what you feel in your heart
Mhm.
is what and what God would bless.
Yes.
that. Right.
Because God never said who we supposed to leave stuff to.
Right.
This goes back to the Bible days.
Mhm.
People thought they was entitled to an inheritance. When they just because you're the oldest doesn't mean you're the wisest and most responsible.
That's
I'm the
true.
oldest kid. Why you not do? Because you the one that always messing up.
Yep.
Mhm.
If I leave it to you, you gonna run it into the ground.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, so I can't. But yeah, and to what you were saying, Sandra, some people don't know how. I was working with a coworker, and I was explaining to the coworker that, you know, I was like, you don't have a savings account, and they were like, no, my mom never saved and all that. And I told her, I said, listen. So I hipped her to it. I said, listen, out of each one of your paychecks, you should have it going to something.
Right.
10%. You have to pay yourself first.
Right.
And how you do that, take 10%, you won't even miss it, and have it put somewhere. You know what I mean? And I said, every time we get a promotion maybe once or twice a year through the city, and then through how many years we've been here, like your anniversary.
Okay.
You've been here for 5 years, so you get a raise. And then the city contract, every, once a year, maybe 3% out of each one. You're not going to miss it. Take 10% because you didn't have that raise anyway. You didn't have that raise. So take a little bit out of that raise and put it, and then you keep the rest. You know what I mean? And this is how you save. And I said, just start off small. But because I'm going to tell you, one day I was on a corner. And this is
that sounds strange.
When I had first had Marsharell. She's my oldest, and I'm sitting there. I'm on the bus. I don't own a car. I'm just always watching all these cars go by, and I'm saying to myself, I have a little piece of job. How can all these people afford these cars and I can't?
Right.
So I had to reevaluate. Start listening to Susie Orman. Oprah loves Susie Orman. And Susie Orman said, if you just take out one thing out of your, this one lady was constantly going and she had to go to Starbucks every day. And she realized what it was. And then when I would get to work, I'm ordering out lunch and I'm ordering out breakfast. Tally up all of that. She'll take you a packaged lunch. You pack your own lunch because it's going to be healthier. And then see how much you got and put that into a saving. And, I had a car the next year. You don't know how you're going to do it because, in our mind, I don't even make that much. How can I?
There's always room.
Yeah. It's
we all
always
have
room.
a few indulgences. You know what I mean? And now they make it so easy. I use an app that automatically takes your loose change and
the loose change app.
Well, that one invests your money. Then there's another one that I have that's just a savings. The algorithm knows your spending habits or when you have bills coming out. So
right.
I have categories and it deducts and okay, here's the timeline I want to save this amount of money in, and will adjust to your spending. So there are tools now, right? Tools that people didn't have before. Talking to you, but you have to be willing, and it has to be top of mind. So it's important to have conversations like this.
It is true. Because when you think you can't, if you look a little deeper, you can. Everybody can save. I don't care if you make it $30, you can take $2 from that $30.
Yep,
absolutely.
And put $2 away, and you have So I learned that them little amounts add up.
Save something.
Save something.
Can't spend it all.
Because let me tell you something. That washer and dryer, it's gonna go out.
Yes, it is.
That refrigerator, it's gonna stop not being so cold.
Yep.
Why the food in here is not
right?
You know what I mean?
Your vehicle.
You're oh my God! You're thinking I'm gonna have to get me a refrigerator. All these things, something your car,
maintenance,
a battery in your car. All of these things, and that's why you see cars abandoned on the road. Now people don't have money to fix them because they didn't prepare for what can happen. That is what savings will do for you. That when God said, I will make you lenders,
yes,
and not borrowers.
Yep.
If you believe, you will not be borrowing money from people.
Well,
because
you have to be a good steward.
Yeah,
right.
And so stewardship comes from a practice and discipline. We don't have any discipline.
Right.
We might know one thing, and we do that. Get up and go to work every day.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get up and go to work, and they don't
have
really
jobs and no savings.
No savings, or they don't have discipline even at the job. You aren't doing your job to the best of your ability. How you do anything is how you do everything. Is what they say.
Yes.
And it's true.
Now, a lot of people during the pandemic, when they were getting the PP loans, they was getting
unemployment checks,
a whole lot of money ran through their hands.
Yes.
And they have.
What do you have to show?
And let me tell you. Okay, speaking of that, you had people that Biden had put in position. Your landlords and mortgage people can't throw you out the house.
Yep.
So, and this went on for a couple of years. Why, when that time was over, these people were still saying, I need more money? Didn't you save up? What were you doing when you weren't paying your rent?
They were going to Miami.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I was so upset with that. It's just like the city just had to make, Sherelle Parker just had to make people come back to work. Now, mind you, I work for the city. I work and my job, I had to go to work every day. I didn't get time off at all because my job was deemed essential. Then you had these people that were off. You can work from home now, remote. And now, okay, the pandemic is over. I need y'all to come back into the offices. We're paying for these buildings. Nobody is in them. We need to get people back in the. These people took her to court.
And that's the
I don't want to come back to work. I'm taking care of my mother now. Really? Is that no? This was a pandemic. It's time for you to go back. I was
Right.
so
And how about that was
perturbed.
to help assist you during the
Exactly.
pandemic?
This is not long term, and now you've been off from work for 4 years.
Years.
And you don't, and you think this, and you suing her because she wants you to come back into
Well, they were
work.
still working, you know.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I heard
Wow.
But I'm saying, listen, the thing is,
Wow.
these were also opportunities, because I listen to like a ton of podcasts. But like one financial podcast was talking about, and I'm not advocating that anyone do this, but if you're on a financial journey, perhaps people are double dipping even with the job, right? You doing virtual work at home and doing other things. But no matter what, at the end of that, you should have come up somehow. There should be some evidence
That you
Right.
came up.
That
That you came
right,
up.
like you said, like where's the money? Y'all, you went on these trips, you did this and that, but you still
You got the
didn't plan for the
PPA,
future.
the employment,
Yep.
and I
They
told them, I said,
getting
you know what?
everything.
They're gonna catch up. Y'all getting all this money now, and right now they are taking people to court for, getting the money when you shouldn't have,
They
and
was
all of this
creating
kind of
businesses
and all of that.
I just saw a woman on like IG or something like that. The police officer came to her house. They were very kind. They were nice to her, let her gather because she was at work. So she had to tell work that she couldn't come, and the husband let the kids know, like she told him what to say or what have you. But she had to go on down to the courthouse, I guess, or wherever you go, to tell them about her stealing. Basically, I mean, it's stealing.
It's stealing.
It's fraud.
It's fraud.
It's fraud.
Oh,
But
wow.
people don't look at it like that. A lot of people will get away with it. But you could be
I
the
said
one.
it. I said it. I said y'all taking
That's
these
true.
checks and y'all not y'all lying about y'all being unemployed. Y'all taking the PPA and then you still come up when it's all over with and you still at the same place where
Right.
you were.
If you're taking
What
a risk,
happened?
you rolling the dice, you
Right.
should have something.
The show for it.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving here with
Besides
something.
new clothes, besides new clothes and the trip, that's a memory now.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, audience, you tell us, what is your opinion on this? Hit us up, go to YouTube, OSC, One Step Closer. Let's talk about it and leave your comments and your opinions, and we will be so appreciative of that. Well, right now, we have Moni with Mind, Body, and Soul coming up next.
Welcome to another segment of Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm your girl, Moni Simone Shoemake, and today I want to talk to you guys about goal setting. But first and foremost, welcome into 2025. So because it is a new year, I want you guys to set a pace on learning to set your goals, okay? So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper, write down 10 goals that you want to accomplish this year, okay? So think about what you want to do, how you want to do it, and each week you're going to take one of those goals and you're going to set small tasks to accomplish them, okay? So what that means is you write down your 10 goals and take the first one. For the first week, you're going to write small tasks that you need to do to complete that bigger goal, okay? So that's just a tidbit of what I want you guys to do to start setting your goals. And also, you have to eliminate the distractions. There are people around you, things that take you off course from what you want to accomplish. So remember, try to shut out that noise. We talked about that. Those noises can be distractions in your life, and we don't want that. I'm your girl, Moni, and remember, a goal without a plan is nothing but a dream. And we're not dreamers, we're doers.
Hey, what a wonderful spotlight we have for you guys coming up next. And Tammy's going to be the one that bring it to you as she does every week. Tammy, who is our spotlight for this week?
Well, Bethel, I'm glad you asked. Because, honey, I am here at Steph Baddies. She done made my face over, and now I'm a baddie, too. And look, not only can she beat your face, she got stuff for the body. Y'all gotta meet her.
Hey,
So, Steph, tell us where you're located.
I'm at 3228 North Front Street, 19147.
And y'all, she good on the pocket. She good on the pocket. She's beautiful, isn't she? Look at the shop, y'all. Look at the shop. Beautiful. I'm telling you, she beat your face and then look, you get your body done. Come on out here and get this nice clothing. It's a beautiful atmosphere. She's very friendly. You guys will love her. Come on out. It's located very locally. You will be fine. Come on out. Now, Steph, how could they find you? What's the number they could call or something?
My phone number is 267-232-8961, and my Instagram is @BaddieCity.
At Baddie City, y'all. Come on out, all y'all baddies. I challenge y'all to come out here and give her a play, all right? All right, thank you.
Up next, we have a little conversation with Ask Miss Sandra.
Hello. Thank you guys for coming back once again, right? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk About It and for tuning in to another segment of Ask Miss Sandra. So let's see what Jennifer from Camden, New Jersey has to ask Miss Sandra. Miss Sandra, a lot of couples are going 50-50 nowadays. What are your thoughts on that as far as dating and marriage? Okay. All right. Jennifer, as far as dating and marriage, okay. Couples 50-50. I've been hearing this thing. I don't know where it comes from, what the foundation of it is all about, right? I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents were married, right? So I have to put myself out there a little bit, right? So you guys can think I know a little bit of something, I assume, right? Okay, no worries. So my parents were married. My mom was a homemaker until I was in 5th grade, and then she elected to go to work, right? Because my dad was always, growing up, for me, he was always a supervisor. Like, he was a supervisor at Devon Apparel that made women's clothes, and then he became a supervisor at Penn Made. So wherever he was, during, my life growing up as adolescents, he was always a supervisor. So my mom didn't have to work, and there was like 5 or 6 of us in the house. So that was pretty good for back then, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s to a degree. She didn't have no 50 to match his 50. You know what? It was him with his income of 90%, like, I guess, supporting the family, but also she gave a 10% of making sure, because there was only one income in the house, making sure y'all turn the lights off when they're not being used. Don't waste any water. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're hot, this heat is not going above 68 degrees, put another layer on. So, but I get now that times have changed, right? And things have went up. Like, the cost of living has definitely gone up. But with the 50-50 in dating, I'm not down for it. I have no problem giving in a relationship, absolutely. But I feel like the 50-50 split is kind of like an obligation, like, do it or you're out of here. You understand what I'm saying? And then in marriage, for sure, like, okay, so here's my thoughts with that. Dating is totally separate, but I think dating prepares you for marriage. That's the person, you choose to spend the rest of your life with. In marriage, I think, like, but it depends on you guys' expenses. Like, I think the person who makes the least possibly could pay all the bills, depending on what those utilities and, entertainment and stuff looks like. And then the person who makes more, okay, well, you pay the mortgage, or that goes into savings. But it's all about communication with you and your partner about that 50-50. I'm just not, a person that's down for it, because you can have a guy and you're dating him and he says 50-50, but he dates somebody else and he's like all in 100. You understand what I'm saying? So no, it's not 50-50. So not with me anyways, but I hope that helps. But if you're dating someone or married to someone, it's never too late to start learning things over, again. So I hope this helps Jennifer and anyone else who is interested. Thank you for tuning in to another segment of Ask Miss Sandra. And Jennifer, you asked Miss Sandra. Back to you guys in the studio.
And we're back, and I'm sorry to say we've come to the end of another wonderful episode. And I want to say that to save or not to save, I want to say just put something a little away for a rainy day, in case. Okay, that's your in case money. Okay, and as always, We look forward to seeing you back here again.
Absolutely. And if you have anything you need to get off your chest, this is the platform to do it. Our name is our address.
And if you have a talent that you're sitting on, don't sit on it. Let me put you in the spotlight.
And if you'd like to follow the Defining Your Life podcast, you can find us on Apple, Buzzsprout, Spotify, YouTube. You can also follow me on TikTok for daily doses of encouragement. And on all those platforms, I'm at Defining Your Life.
And we'll see you back here next time on Let's Talk About It.